All right, welcome to this Earnestly podcast. I'm host Ernest, EJ Christian, coming to you on a Monday afternoon, actually, rather. Quick pod here today, NBA pod on the line. We got 20 minutes with my boy, Danny Thompson, the head of the Around Association podcast, the website, all that. Conference Finals is here, Danny. How you doing?
EJ, man, listen, we're just excited. It's the best time of the year. It's the Final Four of the NBA.
That's right. Now, I got a question. I got a bonus pick before we get to the finals preview and all that. Did you really stop the game, the Sixers game, to watch Game of Thrones?
Listen, I did stop watching the game, but I will say this. I was flipping back and forth because I realized the battle was going to take a little bit longer to start than normal. Because I was hoping that the battle didn't start in the first 10 minutes of the show, but I did catch the last minute or so of the game. So
you do
only missed like maybe 2 minutes.
But you do realize it's on demand. You can just press start at any time when the game's over, right? That's what I did.
Yeah, but Facebook and Twitter and social media doesn't have a pause on that.
Well, you should be. Well, first off, you should be on Facebook or social media in the first place during the show anyway.
Hey, listen.
I'm not trying to be a dad right now, but you
Hey, listen. That battle scene, like I said, I just want to make sure nobody was battling in the first 5 minutes of the show. So we're good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Okay, we'll get to all the future Game of Thrones stuff, but we got literally 19 minutes to get out of here. Hard stop. So let's get to the conference finals quick. First off, Sixers and Raptors, game winner, Kawhi Leonard last night. Wow. That's all I got to say as well. I haven't even say that to that.
It was an amazing shot. I mean, it was one of those shots that, you see on TV where it's like, like a television show and the main character takes the shot and then it just bounces, and then it goes in. I would never ever thought that was going to actually happen in a Game 7 in an actual NBA game. It's just amazing.
And people were saying to me yesterday on social media, that this wasn't said much really during the San Antonio years. But there were folks that were saying that Kawhi Leonard was mostly a system player that was benefiting from the San Antonio system. That's definitely got to be out. That's got to stop now at this point, right? All that talk, it's got to stop now.
Oh no! I mean, you're considering Kawhi Leonard as one of the top 5 players in the league, if not even higher than the top 5. Yeah. After what he's shown in the playoffs, especially.
Yeah. What's next with the Sixers now? Because a lot of the banter. Well, first of all, you got a lot of contracts that are in the year. Jimmy Butler's a free agent. Tobias Harris is a free agent. Brett Brown may not be back. There's a lot of rumors about his job, that if he didn't win Game 7, he's highly likely to be fired from his job. So far, nothing in as of right now. What do you expect for the Sixers going forward?
It's really, the Sixers are one of those teams, like you said, it's up in the air. We forgot about J.J. Redick being a free agent as well, too.
Oh, that's right.
So he's another one that's a free agent. What they're going to do with Mike Scott? What's the future with Brett Brown? Can you fire a head coach after losing a buzzer beater on a play that's defended very well by potentially the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year? Mm-hmm. Can Brett Brown get fired? Yes, Brett Brown's substitution patterns were just at times completely awful. But some Sixers management realized that at the same time, they didn't give Brett Brown much to work with outside of those 5 guys. That bench was terrible most of the year. Mm-hmm. Outside of Mike Scott, who else was to know that gave you anything worth anything all season?
Exactly.
So, I mean, the real question is, do you go so far in low tax of paying Tobias Harris or Jimmy Butler or J.J. Redick all this money? And they still have Ben Simmons they have to take care of as well, too. So I don't think they fired Brett Brown because I don't know if there's a guy out there that can do better than Brett Brown right now.
So you think, I think the issue is that there's now a narrative now built in with the fan base that this is their limit, this is their ceiling with Brett Brown. I disagree, actually, to be honest with you, but your take, you think they'll fire him?
If they would have got blown out last night or lost by 10 plus points, then yes, Brett Brown's fired. I just don't know if you fire a guy who's lost a shot at the last second like that. Yes, the team didn't score in the final 3 minutes, with 3 minutes down the stretch before Butler hit that layup. Yes, he can't go out there and tell the team to pass the ball to Joel Embiid the post. He can't force that to happen. That's on Ben Simmons. That's on everybody else on the floor not getting Embiid the ball. Now, he needs a coach, but I think this might be a final year out situation. Mm-hmm. But I just don't see them firing Brett Brown because of this. Not the way they lost. It would be awful if they did that. Unless they have something up their sleeve.
Now, you covered the Sixers this year for USA Today. What is the relationship with the players and Brett Brown? Is there mutual respect there? Is there some infighting? What's going on there?
I think the thing was, in the beginning, I think Jimmy Butler questioned this guy's ability to coach the game. And I think as the season wore on, I think it got better between, the players and Brett. Brett has got the relationship with Joel, and I think Joel will back him as much as possible.
Right.
But Joel wants to win as well, too. So if Elton Brand, who has went out and made some shrewd moves, remember, he basically ended the process by going out and getting Butler and Harris by trading all their assets away to get him, to get those two guys. If they trust Elton Brand that he's going to go grab somebody, then if Brown has to go, Brown has to go. But I think Embiid more than anybody will go to bat for him. I think even Jimmy Butler as well too. I think Butler stays actually.
They can afford another two max, right? Can they afford both Butler and Harris?
Everybody has to be renounced. So once everybody's renounced, then the two maxes come into place. Because remember they have the bird rights on Butler because they got him early enough in the trade season.
Given the choice, though, if they had to choose one player, who's a better fit long term?
Butler.
Okay.
Butler over Harris, because of the fact that Butler is a guy that can go get you buckets at the end of the game. Yeah, he always had 16 points last night, but remember, the tying basket came because Jimmy Butler is the only guy on that team that can create his own shot off the dribble.
Right.
That's why you keep him. And he's also a two-way player.
That's a good point. Oh, we had another game also yesterday. The Blazers and the Nuggets. And I mean, the Blazers came and shocked everybody yesterday in Game 7. Being down also in the first half, especially, was very shocking. A lot of people undervalued the Blazers, not just in the playoffs, but even coming to the year. Most pundits had them. First off, Vegas had a number like in the low 40s this year. I remember doing over-runners. I said over, but maybe slightly over. The West got a little better this year. At least coming to the year, we thought the West got better on paper. This team has been fighting, disrespect all year long, and now we're here now in the Final Four, and they are there as well too.
Yeah, the disrespect. I don't know if it's disrespect. I think it's the depth of the Western Conference. The West was so good up top. I mean, outside the Warriors, you have the Rockets. Denver was good this year. People thought the Lakers were going to be way better than what they were all year. You have New Orleans. People thought New Orleans. You have Oklahoma City. You had San Antonio. So Portland gets lost in that shuffle because in Utah, all those teams are really good.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get lost in the shuffle, and their superstar Damian Lillard, they get swept under the rug. No one pays them attention or gives them that. Okay, they can go win a series or two, and they've done.
He's now the clear number 2 point guard in the league now, right? That's that, right? That's clear now.
You know what? I can't see an argument against it. I think Lillard is right there. I mean, of course we're going to talk about Kyrie, we're going to talk about Russell Westbrook, but yeah, I think Lillard. I don't think it's a clear number 2, but I think if he stays the second best point guard in the league, I wouldn't argue against that.
Right. So I was there after the first series against OKC. Anyway, predictions for the conference finals. Who you got? Milwaukee and Toronto. How many games and why?
Wow.
Tough one,
it's funny. It's a tough one because I think both these series are going to be really, really good. I have Bucks in 7. And the difference is the fact that the longer the series goes on, the more healthier Malcolm Brogdon gets. Mm-hmm. And Brogdon is the X factor for the Bucks in the entire series. Brogdon is one of the few guys in the league that can come off the bench and start and be just as effective either way and has the same importance value to me of Eric Bledsoe. And a guy who can defend, a guy who lets Bledsoe be off the ball, and a guy who can guard Kyle Lowry just in case Bledsoe gets in foul trouble, knocks down shots, and also is another point guard on the floor. Now you have Bledsoe, you have Brogdon, and you have George Hill. So you can rotate those 3 guys, and something tells me playoff Kyle Lowry is going to show up in this series once again, and as we saw last night, Kawhi had to shoot, 35, 37, 38 times last night, and they only won by 2 points.
That's not his game either, really.
He was shooting basically every other shot. And I don't know if the Raptors can do that for 7 games. Because they can't, there's nobody on that team that can stop Giannis, not even Kawhi, because Giannis is so long. They have to make him a jump shooter. So I would see Siakam more on Giannis more than Kawhi.
Right.
I see Kawhi on Middleton, which forces everybody else to have to hit shots.
Right.
So they're going to need Lopez, they're going to need Brogdon, they're going to need Bledsoe, they're going to need George Hill, they're going to need Ilyasova and Mirotic. They have enough weapons from the outside. That's why I buck them up.
They're going to do the Bill Belichick thing, pretty much. Take out their, let the other guy get his own, and and they're the main guy to, basically Giannis will get his, stop everybody else.
Basically.
Totally
and the other part is, with Brook Lopez being a three-point shooter now, not being in the post, the question is Marc Gasol going to have to step out, or are you going to see less Gasol and more Serge Ibaka?
Probably in the same fashion as Embiid also, because Embiid is a threat out there too. So probably very similar things going on in the series. Now, Warriors versus interesting because, Portland does give Golden State problems historically. Like, they individually game to game, they do play them well. I've seen Portland many times in the last couple of years flat out embarrass Golden State at home, in game, obviously during the regular season. But I think this series, I think, depending on Kevin Durant's availability from the onstart, if Durant's not playing game one, Portland has to win out the gate.
I agree. I think with Durant being out probably games 1 and 2, the only way the Blazers make this a series is they split in Oakland. If they lose both these games, and then Kevin Durant and potentially DeMarcus Cousins is back for game 3 and 4, at that point, to me is that if you don't split and you have to beat the Warriors 4 times in 5 games, good luck with that.
No, I'll go further, Danny. It doesn't sound crazy. If Durant's out these 2 games, they have to win these 2 games, honestly, because I think that puts a lot of pressure now on Golden State. You go on the road after this. I think Portland, if Durant's not playing these games, you got to go for the throat early in both these games. I don't think it's enough, to be honest with you. I think 2-0 going to Portland is actually what the Portland Blazers need to win this series, honestly.
Well, I think it's just so difficult to win back-to-back games at Oracle. That's why I say one's important. I think getting one, but then at the same time protecting home court and getting one at home, because it's going to be hard to beat. It's going to be hard to beat them 2 consecutive games either on the road or at home. So if you split those games, then you have to win Game 5 at Oracle. That's all you have to do.
Right.
You want to get this. You want the series tied at 2 going back to Oracle. It'd be much easier to be at 2 than thinking you're going to be at 3-1 against the Warriors. Right. Unless Curry or Thompson goes down, I don't see them going 3-1. But I can see them splitting the first 4 games.
I will say this though, they are a lot more fun to watch out Durant. No disrespect to Durant, but I love the organic Warriors before Durant got there. That was a lot more fun to me. A lot more enjoyable to watch.
It's much more fun to watch the Warriors now without Durant, only because of the fact that you have so many different ways of getting Draymond Green the basketball and letting him facilitate the offense. You put him at the high post and let everybody come off screens, let everybody let Thompson and Curry come off screens. You let Iguodala have more slash ability, and really with Durant, it's much more isolation one-on-one basketball, which is not a bad thing at times, but it stagnates what Steph Curry does because Curry becomes just a decoy.
Yeah, I think for the first time, probably since this whole thing's happened, they are now Durant reliant, and you saw that. This year. So it's good to see the Warriors back to the old guard before Durant got there. That being said, who you got in the series? How many games and why?
Warriors in 5. I think with Durant's back, I think they'll get him in 5.
That's where I'm going also too.
I mean, the thing is, if they split and Durant's back, it's just like I say, it's almost impossible to beat them twice at home, back to back like that. And just imagine if they get Cousins back. And it's a different series. And
this is why I'm stressing the whole idea of them winning the 2 games in Oracle out the gate without Durant, because that's to me that's their opportunity. That is their opportunity there. You don't do that, it's over. Because they have nobody to guard Durant in the series when he's back. Nobody.
I think Harkless and Amina will do a solid job. They'll make Durant work for it. Durant still get his.
He's getting it.
But like I say, even if they win both games in Oracle, the Warriors in both games, I still think Portland gets one at home, and that's why it's a 5-game series.
Right. All right.
They'll get one. They'll get one on the road at home.
Right. All right. We got about 5 minutes, so let's just quick. We got a couple of news and notes in the league around the league. The Rockets collapsed last week against the Warriors after Durant went out with an injury. So they had a game and a half without Durant, and they're still getting close to the deal. The Rockets and their future. Chris Paul's contract, it may end up, after John Wall might end up being the worst contract in the league by the start of next year or the year after that. The Rockets, I mean, what's their situation? Do they have any wiggle room to make any moves to get better?
Is Chris Paul retiring?
Exactly.
I mean, are they going to trade Eric Gordon? Are they going to trade Clint Capella? I mean, they have $106 million tied into Harden, Paul, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and Clint Capella. That's $106 million. The cap is, 110 this year? 107, 108? I can't remember what the exact number is, but it's not good. And now you have to fill in everything else. You have a lot of free agents. And I know Furtada, the owner, said that, listen, we're going to make some serious changes, but I don't know how much hurdles that Daryl Morey can pull off with this unless he can somehow move Eric Gordon this summer. And I don't know who's going to take on Eric Gordon because I think he might be a product of that system.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And, to me, here's the thing with the Rockets. People say, the Rockets are done. They're still in the mix. They'll be in the mix. What may hurt them? I think the Rockets are praying that Durant goes to New York, okay? They're praying that Durant goes to New York and no team in the West gets better. That's the only hope right now for the Rockets at this point. If Durant stays, they're screwed. If Anthony Davis goes to even the Lakers or the Clippers or Kawhi comes out West, they're screwed. Right now, the Rockets are praying to God that KD leaves and everything else stays chalk in the Western Conference. Otherwise, they are screwed beyond belief.
I agree. I mean, here's the worst part about it. Like I said, Chris Paul is 1 year older. He's not 1 year better. He's 1 year older.
Right.
And what are you going to do with Austin Rivers? Yeah. Austin Rivers did a solid job that nobody talked about. There's just, I don't want to say the window is closed, but the store closes at 9 o'clock and it's 8:59 in Houston right now.
I'm with you. And to me, their future, this is the worst part being the Rockets, their future relies on not themselves, but everybody else around them.
That's another one.
Yeah. Frank Vogel, new head coach of Lakers. Jason Kidd's assistant. Bad optics, Danny, in my opinion. Your thoughts?
Let's just say I'll be watching a lot of Time Warner Sportsnet Lakers this year because if the show wasn't interesting last year, it's going to be even better this year. They hired. Listen, Frank Vogel was the best of what was out there. I just couldn't see Mike Woodson coaching LeBron James or Jamie Bickerstaff. Right. But I will say this: the Jason Kidd coup to overthrow
what are Frank Vogel.
It's going to be 18 months. That's why Ty Lue didn't want the job. He knew that's it was he wanted the 5 years. He only got 3. He didn't want nobody to pick his assistants because he knew the overthrow was coming. Jason Kidd is not. Jason Kidd is the master of overthrowing people. So I can see that being a problem. So
the Lakers.
I don't think Vogel makes it.
The Lakers are King's Landing right now.
Yes,
the King's Landing.
Agreed.
About that.
Agreed.
Last one, let you go. You got about 2 minutes. Last one, let you go. Kyrie Irving's future in Boston. They're losing 5 to the Bucks. You watch Game 1, you thinking, okay, well, Boston, okay, and then after that's the last win of the season. They lose 4 straight, all in blowout fashion. Lose 2 in Boston. Mm-hmm. Kyrie Irving getting pretty much all the blame for everything's falling apart. Is his days in Boston over, or is there still some chance he comes back?
I still think it's 80-20 that he's gone. Mm-hmm. I just don't. The thing is, if you can read the body language of the Celtics players after the loss in Game 5, it's like, get this dude out of here. The locker room chemistry, it's not working. It's because I think, in my opinion, Kyrie wants to be that guy, but I don't know if his mental state allows him to be that guy. Right. And when I say the mental state is, he can't take the pressure of being the guy. He wants to be the guy role, but that's why LeBron was so good for him in Cleveland, because LeBron can take all that on his shoulders. There are very few guys in the league that can do that, and LeBron's one of them. Yeah. And I don't know if Kyrie is built for that. I mean, I think maybe we probably agree that two or three other guys in the league are built for this.
Next,
I think that
is he Nick next year?
I think him and KD are headed for New York together. And the real question is,
and is New York getting that pick? Are they getting that pick? The number 1 pick tomorrow?
I think the Knicks is number 1 overall pick, and then that's when we find out. As we know, EJ, we're both wrestling guys, and then once they get the number 1 overall pick, that's when we find out who the third member of the NWO is.
That's right, Hollywood Hogan. I was saying last night too. Daenerys went Hollywood Hogan last night on the episode. So
nice. I think Hollywood Hogan is not going to be. I think the third member of the big 3 in New York will not be Zion Williamson. I think they'll take him, but he will not be their opening night.
Whoa, prediction! All right. Well, no, you got to run. So again,
no, I just said. I'm just going to say this real quick. I know you're about to close out, but I think what I was going to say was, if they take Zion, he's traded for Anthony Davis.
Oh yeah, you have to.
That's your third man.
You have to. You go for the guys who developed, the guarantee guy, of course. Anyway, of course, check out Danny's podcast, Around the Association. The podcast, the website. He's updating every day. Danny, thanks for coming on a short notice. I appreciate it, man.
EJ, always a pleasure, man. We got to do Game of Thrones later too.
Oh, we do. We will definitely. All right, man.
All right.
All right, buddy.